A long time ago, there was a great kingdom. This kingdom was famous far and wide for its prosperity, justice, and glory. The king was not only brave and kind-hearted, but was also known for being fair to his people. His queen was just like him, compassionate and loved by everyone. Their greatest wish was that Allah bless them with a child, so that the future of the kingdom could be safe. At last, one day Allah accepted their prayers. A little princess was born in the palace. The happy news spread across the land like wildfire. Lamps were lit in the street. People distributed sweets to each other. Soldiers fired cannons, and celebrations continued in the palace for many days. The king and queen would hold their little daughter in their arms, praying for her and showering her with love every moment. The whole palace would light up with joy whenever the princess smiled. But among all this happiness, there was one face that showed a smile on the outside but carried poison in the heart. It was the minister's sister. She lived in the palace as a maid and was always busy serving the king and queen. With her flattery and sweet talk, she had gained their trust. The queen considered her the most loyal maid. But the truth was that her heart was full of greed and jealousy. She thought, if the princess grows up, one day she will become the queen. Then my brother, the minister, will never be able to take over the throne. Thinking this, she made a dangerous plan in her heart. Time passed. When the princess turned 8, suddenly the queen became very ill. The whole palace was filled with sorrow. The best doctors were called, rare herbs were brought. But the queen's condition worsened day by day. The king helplessly watched his wife suffer and cried. The princess sat beside her mother's bed, holding her hand and praying. A few days later, the queen passed away. The palace was filled with grief. The princess had lost her mother, and her little heart carried a wound that would make her cry for years. But no one knew that the queen's illness was not natural. The minister's sister had been secretly mixing poison in her food every day. She pretended to be a loyal maid, but inside she was completing her evil plan. After the queen's death, the king drowned in sorrow. He lived only for his daughter, but became lonely and weak. The minister and his sister took advantage of this and tightened their control over him. After some time, the king also fell ill. His hands started shaking. His speech became heavy, and his body slowly became paralyzed. Within a few months, he was bedridden and then went into a coma. Now, the real power of the palace and the kingdom was in the hands of the minister and his sister. The princess was only 10 years old. The innocent child was imprisoned by them. She was locked in a part of the palace. She was not allowed to go to the garden or meet people. Her food was reduced so that she would stay weak and never reach adulthood. They both knew that when the princess turned 18, the kingdom would rightfully belong to her. So they decided to keep her away from the people. The citizens of the land missed their princess. They thought, if the queen were alive, we would never face such cruelty. The minister and his sister became more and more tyrannical. Taxes were increased, lands were taken from farmers. The poor began to die of hunger. The cries of the people reached the sky, but the princess knew nothing of this. She sat in her locked room, her eyes full of questions, but no one there to answer. There was one old maid who had been in the palace since the queen's time. She was loyal, kind, and brave. She had seen everything with her own eyes and knew how the minister and his sister had played their evil game. One night, She came to the princess and said, "My child, your parents wanted you to serve your people one day. This is the time to see your kingdom. If you keep hiding like this, these cruel people will never let you become queen." The princess looked frightened and said, "But Nanny, how can I go out? There are guards everywhere." The old maid smiled and said, "I am here, my dear. I will disguise you and take you out of the palace." A few days later, the right moment came. The maid secretly took her out through the back gate. For the first time in her life, the princess stepped outside her prison. Her eyes were filled with wonder, joy, and fear. As she walked through the streets, she saw people hungry and poor. She saw children fighting for a piece of bread. She saw farmers crushed under debt. The princess's heart trembled. She thought, "These are my father's people. How can they suffer like this? And why am I locked away?" In the market, she saw an old woman who hadn't eaten for 2 days. The princess tore a piece from her shawl, wrapped some food, and gave it to her, saying, "Mother, please pray for me." The old woman kissed her hand and said, "My child, may Allah make you our queen. May He have mercy on us." Hearing this, the princess's eyes filled with tears. During that journey, she met a prince from a neighboring kingdom. He was a noble and brave young man who had come in disguise to see his own people's condition. The moment he saw the princess, he recognized the sadness in her eyes. The princess slowly told him her entire story. The prince listened silently and then said, "I will help you. This kingdom belongs to you. Your people love you. You just need to be brave." For the first time, hope lit up in the princess's heart. The time came when the princess, the prince, and the people secretly made a plan together. The people were already angry at the minister and his sister. As soon as the princess appeared before them, they all stood by her side. A royal court was held in the palace. The prince and the people proved the crimes of the evil minister and his sister in front of everyone. Their entire conspiracy was revealed. They were arrested and thrown into prison so that they could never harm the people again. During this time, the best doctors were brought for the king. After months of treatment, his health slowly returned. When he saw his daughter wearing the crown, tears of joy filled his eyes. Finally, the day arrived that everyone had been waiting for. The princess turned 18 and her coronation took place. The whole city rejoiced. Lamps were lit in every street. People cheered and shouted, "Long live our queen! Long live our kind-hearted princess!" The princess was no longer just a princess. She had become a wise, kind, and merciful queen. Sometime later, she married the same brave prince who had helped her in her darkest times. Together, they brought justice and peace to the kingdom once again. If you enjoy this story, please like my video and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more new videos. Thanks.